creating a lot of excitement throughout the Caribbean and the world, because the Caribbean Premier League, it's a big thing, and of course it's followed all over, and so we were obligated to bring you that, and so we had to make some adjustments to our regularly scheduled programs to ensure that you enjoyed the CPL, and then following that, or in addition to that, we had the 2025 World Athletic Championship. So it's over for the time being, and so we're back to we've normalized. Our programs are back on track, and we are ready to go. Val is with me as always. Val, good evening and welcome back. It's been quite a while, man.
Yes, it is. Good evening, Godfrey, and good evening to Grenada, Carriacou, Petit Martinique, and all the areas of the Windward Islands where this program is being heard. It's really good to be back. As you said, it has been a little break, but we did enjoy the CPL and also enjoy the 2025 version of the World Games with Keyshawn topping and Peter's second. Hooray for the Caribbean.
When I saw it, when I saw the result, Kaiso came to my mind, but I said, all right, don't worry.
Yeah, that was good.
I say, in any event, they don't think Kaiso in Japan, so I think everything is all right.
yeah. They do, I mean, for Carnival in Trinidad, a lot of Japanese do come to Trinidad to play pan.
Right, nice. That's excellent.
They're very much into it, But it was great, So while we had a break, yet we all enjoyed the CPL, great fun. Right, TKR winning another title. Let's make it the fifth. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, and so that Trinidad do have a lot to celebrate, and today's our Republic Day celebrations. Mm-hmm. So that we managed to have a gold, a silver, Jareem.
Yes, in the 400 meters. That was a performance. I mean, definitely. While it wasn't a gold medal, but it was a gold medal performance. I mean, I was so impressed with that young man.
Yes, because he's not a natural 400 meter.
Yeah, no. He is. But
he puts out everything. He puts everything on the line.
Yes,
so it was really good that we could claim a gold and silver at those games, and of course with Anderson placing second.
Yes, indeed.
And the Jamaicans, Tia and Tina.
Yes.
Young, Thunderbolts coming up there. I mean, it's amazing to see what is happening to the Caribbean. Maybe we need to really pull together and go as one, but that's another discussion.
Well, definitely. But it's really great, and let me just jump on this. I've been following from time to time on social media this little tug of war between Guyana and Trinidad, whether it's curry chicken or chicken curry.
Chicken curry. Yeah.
Well, it turned out that it's curry chicken. But Val, we've been joined by the man himself.
Yes.
And let me say up front, the man who's this year celebrating 50 years, and I want folks to get it, 50 years in the business, Mr. Eric Taylor, the Pink Panther. Yes. Panther, good evening and welcome.
He started very early. That's why. He started very early.
Good evening, Godfrey and Balton.
Yes.
Nice to be on the program again. Thank you for having me.
Of course, it's always a pleasure. It's a holiday. What were you up to today, Panther?
Well, boy, I have my own little thoughts on these holidays, so there we are, start up a thing.
We're going to end up with a Kaiso, you never know.
The children in school, I asked some of them, what is Republic Day? They don't know what it is. So we kind of, misguiding the emerging generation. We're just having a holiday, but to understand the context of what it is. Mm-hmm. They don't know. I asking them on purpose, what is Republic Day, what it means. They don't know. They just say it's a holiday.
Right. Yeah.
We have a lot of work to do.
And I think, I mean, this is not just unique to Trinidad. I mean, while the mention is on Republic Day, but I think there are a lot of changes that needs to be made in the Caribbean as it relates to a lot of these things. I mean, in Grenada, we just passed an act in Parliament to change our allegiance in our constitution. So the allegiance has been changed. It's now to Grenada and no longer to the English monarch, you know, and quite a popular move in Grenada, and so constitutions and a lot of these what I call archaic laws. I mean, they need to be reviewed and changed to suit the times and the people that are existing. I mean, don't you guys agree?
Totally.
But it's not just that. I think that I remember being in Grenada last year, and it just hit me because I'm close to Kalinago and the beachfront there, and I can see tourists walking on the beach and enjoying, or they are sprawl out and enjoying the sunshine, and they're enjoying the weather. They are enjoying the Caribbean, right? In a way that we as Caribbean people, especially Afro and Indo-Caribbean people, do not enjoy the landscape as they do, right? Our relationship to the landscape is one that came from indentureship and enslavement, right? So that independence and republicanism does not wipe away the past and simply placed us in a position to just enjoy this land where our ties to it has been a traumatic one, you know. And I think it's inside of that panther that the problem lie, you know, so that we have to learn how to relate to this space, and we haven't done that yet. So that while we celebrate independence and we celebrate republicanism, what does that really mean?
Exactly.
When there is still that disconnect with the land itself. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. No, it's so true, because I mean, in Grenada, for example, I mean, once you have a holiday, it's your in most cases, probably until maybe 2 years ago, when it came to Thanksgiving and so on, and now they have Heroes Day, October 19th. I mean, a holiday is the fete. Who go along, drink rum, and just, you know, have a time. You know, that is it. But in terms of
especially if that holiday falls on a Monday,
well, yeah, let's call it a long weekend.
A long weekend, of course.
No, definitely.
We can't. You see, what we cannot do is borrow other people's idea of a particular thing. I think that in the Caribbean we do have to search and find out what it means for us.
Yes.
You know, and we know it's not the rum and the food. It has to mean something else, but we haven't found that yet. So that we just take it as a day off from work, you know, and a day off to celebrate. And there's always a calypso about it. I think that Short Pants had done a calypso called "What Does Republic Mean?"
Yes.
You know, so at some point in time you can pull that up, but I'm sure that there is a calypso, right? What does Republic mean? And so that is still a question, you know. But that is not the segment tonight, I'm sure. We hear the talk legends.
Talking guys.
The politicians to do what they have to do. We get the talk legends.
No, definitely. And you know, usually when this time comes around, you know, it brings a joy. You know, and I can recall, Val, during the COVID period, it was really difficult, you know, because once that, as I say, the bug bite you, and you know there's no running wrong, you're organizing, and you're doing things, and it can't happen. It was a strain, and then gradually it was such a wonderful feeling to announce again that, hey, you know, after a 3-year break because of COVID, Legends is back, and it's really exciting, you know, and people are looking forward and all of that, and then of course the move from July to later on in in the year, and I think people are gravitating to that very, very nice. For example, the Kaisonians, I think they like it a lot in that it now creates another avenue or another time of the year where you can, come out and perform and enjoy Kaiso, because usually once Carnival is over in August, that's it until, well, independence is not such of a big thing, but at least before that you now have Legends, and then after independence then you're back to Carnival, so you have a little more Kaiso to enjoy. So I think that has worked well in a sense.
And I think that moving Legends from the Carnival period,
yes,
where everything is so concentrated in terms of the building up to Carnival, now Legends has secured its own space,
yeah,
so that people not only in Grenada but outside of Grenada in the diaspora can certainly look forward to coming to a Legends concert in November or late October,
yeah,
anywhere around there, and so that's really a good move. And as you say, I know that Calypsonians, especially Grenadian Calypsonians, they are very appreciative of the fact that you have Legends, within a space that is not cramped, because of the Carnival season and so on. So that's really good.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, Legends in concert.
Yeah.
19th edition.
19 years. I could recall, Val, when when the idea came, we started right here in the studio, in the radio, as we say, in the radio station, where we would feature the artists and play the calypsos. And very early, when we started, from time to time, we would bring an artist from Trinidad, Barbados, to come in and spend the day with us in the studio and just chat, get to know and feel the artist and all of that. And then, after doing that for a couple of months, actually a year or so, then the idea came. I mean, if you having them come and talk and play in the Kaiso, why not have them come and actually perform? And that was the birth of Legends in Concert. I remember so well that the day we had the very first Legends, it was the day that the Lord Blakey was buried.
Oh.
Yes, it was the day Lord Blakey was buried.
Quite a significant day.
In fact, I'll tell you this: Calypso Rose was supposed to. She was coming up for the program to spend the day with us. And for whatever reason, there was some issues with the airline. And so she could not come. And so we did the interview with her from Blakey's funeral.
Oh, yeah.
From Blakey's funeral. Yeah.
The warlord himself, right?
The warlord himself. So I mean, there's some really nice history, behind that, and over the years how it has gone, and we're gonna talk to that. But let's talk to Panther a little bit, because
yes.
You can be talking Legends and a man who's been around in the business for 50 years, and he is on the show this year. I mean, you could not have an event like that where you're promoting Kaiso and the art form and not have someone celebrating 50 years in the business absent. Panther, it's a pleasure to have you again.
I'm happy to be on the program, happy to be on the 19th edition of the Legends Concert. I look forward to it very, very much.
But let's go Val. Yeah.
No, just saying, Panther, tell us what this 50 years means to you. How do you feel about
that
milestone?
Like in cricket, when a batsman reaches 50, he raises his bat. Yeah. It's a good moment, and in Calypso, to make 5 years in Calypso, it take a lot. And to make 50, I say to God be the glory. And just as you would remember Legends starting on the same day that the Lord Blakey was buried, there are things that happen along your way that will stand out, you know. And one of the things that will always stand out to me is Scrunter taking me to meet Lord Kitchener. I mean, imagine having a mentor like that. Well, if I turned out to be a failure, then I wasn't worth anything, you know, because that man really taught me everything, how to hold the mic, everything. In fact, when I was going to take a wife, he said, bring her, let me see what you're doing, because this would get... What? So he was more than a calypso mentor. He was a father to me. And that would have been a very instructive juncture along my trajectory as a calypsonian. I started, as Baldi said, I started early. I started in 1974. And I remember when I started, the big song was Shadow, the bass man.
Yes, and
I come out to play. So that was my baptism in the calypso, you know.
Wow,
and I thank God Almighty for keeping me in the game for all these years.
Right.
And I salute you all for what you all doing for this Legends concert. It's a big thing, you know. I mean, I could only get bigger and better. I mean, you move from July, as you say, to October, November, where you will get a greater space for the Calypsonians to ramage outside of the carnival period, you know. So your show itself is evolving, and it's a great staple among us Calypsonians. We all, sometimes, I know there's some of them jealous me because everybody just want to be on this show, you know. You understand?
But almost, but Val, maybe with the exception of some of the younger Calypsonians, I think almost every Trinidadian Calypsonian has probably been on.
The younger ones in the next discussion. But before we go to them, you know, the analogy of cricket making 50. I think in cricket, when you make 50, you're now seeing the ball big like a breadfruit.
Yes.
You know? So I want to know, as a Calypsonian, you know, after 50 years, you're seeing the ball big. You understand this thing more than a lot of people. You know? And I want to know what that understanding is. You know, give us a little snippet of the understanding of this thing, now that you're seeing it big as a breadfruit. You know?
Well, now that I've seen it big as a breadfruit, you know, I'm no longer interested in Calypso Monarch. You understand? I mean, if I didn't win it in 2013, I would have never win it again, because I lose the appetite for that, because the breadfruit get big. I've seen the breadfruit big. I've seen the real what Calypso really is. Calypso is not no competition and all kind of thing. Fine, they just have it around the region and think, fine, me disputing that. But you know, as you get older, you get wiser. And I am concerned now that I don't want to go to the great beyond without having an opportunity to pass on what I know, what I have learned. Just like Kitchener passed on to me, I want to pass on to the emerging generation of Calypsonians. Unfortunately, it's tough, because I tell you, some of them, they have no regard for us. They have no regard for the elders. They have no regard for the legends. They will come in the tent. They will see you. They won't even say good night. You understand? So how could you, train somebody like that? You understand? But I am willing, once I get the opportunity. There are a few that I mentor. Zachary Ransom is one, you know. But there are few. Good. But I wish I could do more.
Right.
Yeah, I could do more.
Yeah, very good.
Val, I want to ask you on Panther, and you all can take it in turn. Calypso as an art form, and being part of Caribbean life, and we're going to keep it here for the time being because we're in the Caribbean. How important is that art form to our life as Caribbean people? I don't know which one of you all want to go first.
I'll go first, and then Panda will take. I think that there is no music in the Caribbean that hasn't been influenced by Calypso. So I'll start there. You know, so that Mentor in Jamaica was Calypso, and it's no doubt that Calypso was refined to its finest in Trinidad, and it probably still is happening. So that there is no reggae or whatever versions of that without the influence of calypso. You know, I would go as far as saying, yes, we know that the history of a Trinidadian guitarist called Lynn Tate and so on would have created the strum and so on and so on. So that is there, right? But the truth about it is that there is no music that has in the Caribbean that has been influenced by calypso, and calypso remains important in terms of its narrative about social life in the Caribbean. That is important. So that in all the various epochs of Caribbean development, the calypso would have played a particular part, right? The music would have preceded any of the literary works, right? So that when one says that Samuel Selvon writes like a calypsonian, right? Or even Lovelace today is writes like a calypsonian, you know, that is saying that they are dealing with the folk material and life around them and putting that into a structured novel and short story and so on. So that calypso is very, very critical to any kind of development, whether musical or literary, within the Caribbean. So I'll stop there and allow Panther to have his say.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, Panther, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, a few months ago, I was invited by the Conscious Lyrics Foundation in St. Martin to do a workshop on the redefinition of calypso at their university. And a lot of calypsonians came and we explored the topic. And doing the research for that particular lecture workshop, I realized that calypso is more than music, you know. Calypso is something that we in this region, the Caribbean, that came to us from our ancestors, you know, from West Africa. It evolved to what it is today. So we owe our Caribbeanness to calypso. And there's so much that calypso could do. And I'm happy, you say, I've seen the breadfruit boy like a breadfruit are big. We have to really, take calypso to where it's supposed to be in terms of integrating the Caribbean. Because nothing has been proven beside the sport and the thing that could unify and integrate the Caribbean like calypso. I mean, when you hear Merchant sing that song, let's have a party, a Caribbean party, it brings us together. And that to me is one of the potent values of calypso that maybe we don't really tap on as we should.
Yeah.
Very, very, very interesting. So, you know, so yes, broadly it does that. If we go a little deeper into some more detail and speak to the messaging, and of course there are different messages in calypso. Calypso brings different messages. You know, some weeks ago I was listening to an old Kaiso in Grenada, and while listening, reference was made to an event that happened in one of the parishes on the west side in Grenada. And I smiled because I had totally forgotten about that. You know, and there you have calypso as a history book. You know, recording events of the past, and it continues to record it. So as time go on, you can actually refer to Kaisos and get information about actual events and things that happen. And this, you know, to be influences our lives in such a significant way. You know, and hence the reason I ask the question, because, you know, we can sit here and we can, you know, go all the way, detail it, messaging, music, the variations, and show how all of these things can influence our lives. And it's such a wonderful art form.
But what you are alluding to, Godfrey, is another characteristic of calypso, in that it documents, our history in a serious way. What doctors and all these learned people fail to document properly. One calypso with 3 or 4 verses will give you that story for life. You understand? So that's another value in the calypso, to document our history. As you say, you went on the west side and you listen to things and you see how that they use the calypso as like a diary then, to see how things happen. If you want to hear about the thing in Grenada with Maurice Bishop and thing, you just have to listen to the monkey song about we soldiers will go Grenada if it's football they want to play. That calypso will, in a way, tell you what happened at that time. You understand? What volumes of books may not be able to communicate to people. Calypso has that power to clearly document our history. Yeah. Even world history. Remember when they had the war in Ireland, Katrina sang about that, Bye Bye Ireland. Calypso just put things in a perspective that other what you call luminary
music. So just to add to that, I mean, in our own history in the Caribbean, that before independence came to the 3 bigger ones at the time, Jamaica, Trinidad, and Guyana, that the failure of the Federation,
yes,
the great CLR,
yes,
said that tomes, volumes of things that were written about the failure of the Federation.
Thank you.
Sparrow in one verse.
Oh yes, I mean that's a classic. That's a classic.
He said that people writing tomes and Sparrow says Federation boiled down to simply this.
Yes.
It's dog eat dog and survival of the fittest.
He said that was Jamaica, well, if they know they didn't want Federation. Yeah. It captured the whole essence of the thing in a process. That's the power of calypso. And we're talking about the dream, riches, and all these things, nice thing, and be happy as our countrymen making us proud. But that race with Heasley Crawford, where we got our first, Trinidad got the first Olympic gold medal in Montreal, 1976. When you listen to Maestro Gold, oh my God!
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Wow! The music.
Never see that yet.
Yeah.
Start to finish. Moving like a jet. Lane 1.
Champion. Montreal. Gold medal.
And this is just one. I mean, you mentioned Michael Holt. Maestro, he did something on Michael Holden as well with the cricket, and a number of Calypsonian has sing on the cricket and the glory days of West Indies and so you can listen to Calypso and it paints a picture for you how much great West Indies cricket team used to be compared to what we're seeing now, and Calypso can do that for you.
Exactly. Yeah, we want Ramadan on the ball. Put him on the ball and another wicket will fall. Yes. Indeed. Ramadan and Valentine, those 2 piles of mine.
I heard an interview last week with Gary Sobers. I don't know if you all listened to it. And he said it pained his heart to see that the West Indian cricketers of today, they're not playing for the West Indies. They're playing for money. He said he used to play for West Indies, and it breaks his heart to see that no longer exists really. And if you listen to David Rudder rally around the West Indies, these are the kind of calypsos that could really rally the West Indian team, but somehow we lost the way, boy.
You see, that is you just hit on a very critical point, because that is a disconnect. In the United States, they say if something, one generation didn't pass information to the next, you have that disconnect. So clearly in the Caribbean, you see that disconnect, because for the Wes Hall used to say the black proletariats, for the black proletariat like Wes and Gary, they knew that it meant something to represent the Caribbean.
Yes.
to represent, right? It meant something to go out there with ball and bat and field
Yes.
to prove something
Yes.
that you weren't inferior to anybody.
That's right.
Because we're just emerging from a colonial past.
Correct.
Right? And we are nobodies.
Yes.
So that you want to prove something and say that you are somebody. And the same people who colonize you and teach you the sport, you could turn around and cut the tail, and embarrass them. And bowl so fast and have them breaks in that they call in for helmet and headgear and so on, And sobers putting stick on them, right? Beating Lily to a frazzle, right? And anybody else. So that it meant something to be black and Caribbean and go out and beat these colonial masters, right?
You're so right.
But the youth now, they do not have that connection. They're not connected to that history. They just go out there trying to make money. And do not understand that, as Rhoda say, this thing goes beyond the boundary.
It goes beyond the boundary.
It is more than cricket. It is more than cricket.
Valley, stick up in there. You ever look at Courtly Ambrose when Englishman hit him for a 4? What is happening?
Of course.
No. Listen. As you mentioned that, hold on. Before you go there,
that man probably playing for money, boy.
Did you remember when I think he was an Australian batsman who decided to taunt him and ask the umpire to make him remove his handman?
Yes,
and what happened after?
Yes.
You don't do that. According to the young brother, who does that?
It's more than cricket.
Yes.
It's more than cricket. It's more than cricket.
Definitely.
More than cricket.
And the substantive thing here is how Calypso is able to bring that out. Short shirt, Saviv, licks like peas. I mean,
no Bulls and Terra for Vivian Richards, not Thompson and Lily, not Bedi or Chandra Sekar.
Kaiso, the power of Kaiso, and listening, and that's just and look at it. We've been able to reference so much sports in Kaiso. I mean, if we go to touch Kaiso and politics, well, I mean, that program going on until maybe 2030 because there is. But it is beautiful.
As I said, the Calypso has done its work. I mean, I as a person coming up in Trinidad and the Caribbean, my father was a great Calypso lover. He was as I think I said previously, he was a sparrow man.
Right.
That we always had this rivalry because of I supporting Kitchener. Kitchener is more musical and so on, and he likes Sparrow, and he telling me that Kitchener singing the same melody, and we arguing. Not even 10 years yet, but we arguing. So that Calypso was a big thing. I mean, Calypso is played in the home and so on, and you're hearing all of these Calypsos. So that I'm connected to what it is, and you're learning. There is no Calypso. We're talking about Calypso in terms of cultural criticism and all that kind of thing, which is great. But the risque songs in Calypso is also part of Calypso. You can't have a Zandoli is very much a part of what Calypso is.
But this is real authentic Kaiso. I mean,
of course.
Right, so that while we celebrate Calypso's ability to talk about the social environment and so on, right? I was going to say that before I, let's say, read Loveless Dragon Can Dance, which is located in Calvary Hill in Port of Spain, Sparrow was singing songs about that area of Laventille and Shanty Tongue people and so on, before Loveless Dragon. So that when I was reading and I say, but I know that from Sparrow.
Right.
Yes.
You know, that part of Spain and its people and activity. I learned all of that from Sparrow before Lovelace. So so I'm saying that the calypso and those and our folk songs and so on preceded any literary work, right?
Exactly.
But we cannot just hold calypso down in terms of its cultural criticism. It is more than that. So I just talked about Zando and the risky, the smart side, which is part of our Caribbean life. And, you know, so that Zando, where they sing the whip and
Merchant
of Venice, you understand? The iron thing, I mean, I remember Sprang saying that, look at Zando take Shakespeare, Merchant of Venice, and turn it into slackness.
But I mean, just as the Calypsonian that was interred on the genesis of legends, just that steel band clash. I mean, look how we describe that clash.
Yeah.
No. This is
something, boy.
You know, Panther. This is something very instructive. When you listen to steel band clash, you sit and you're listening to that Kaiso, and you are actually seeing what is happening. You know.
Yes.
It bring that imagery. I mean, it brings it out. I mean, so clear.
Yeah.
He said, what he said? He went and hide on that woman's bed and
Quite on the lady bed. The pelt and bottle and bust my head.
Quite on the
Right on top of the lady bed.
The bed. Yeah. What are you doing there? The pelt and bottle and bust my head. Yeah.
But that also speaks to how serious these clashes were.
Yes.
Yeah. You know.
Yes.
It is also about community.
Yes.
Because you had the bands were part of communities. So when Lavantil is coming down and San Juan, you know,
God.
so that when they meet and they clash, you know, you just couldn't go in a band and hold on a man girl, as we just say, and put on a wine.
No, you can't do that.
You know, you couldn't do that.
Balton is making Godfrey Balton is making a very valid observation, a very poignant observation, in that the calypso is not limited to, you know, like politics and them kind of thing. You know, the social fabric of our lives. Calypso play a part, because the same Blakey, you remember the song he sang about Maria?
Oh yes, so I mean,
what she gave me to rubber eat, you understand? And all these things, if men listen to these things, they'll be able to sustain a horn better. You understand?
you know what, you could take it like a man.
What about when the white woman come in the band and she want a body touchy? Eh?
Right.
Miss
Harriman.
No, that's the beauty. And you mentioned Maria. I remembered in was it around 2005, I think it was, one of our Calypsonians did a similar, I mean, same topic, but use a different vehicle. In that he said what she gave him to rub, he eat.
Yeah, exactly.
But he actually enjoyed it and he wanted more.
He wanted more.
Yes, Randy Isaac. He enjoyed it. What she gave me to rub, I eat, and I like it. And he asked for more. You know, so that's the beauty of it. You know.
Yes, of course.
When you sit and you go through it and you can actually. Identify certain pieces of work as we're doing now, you know, dissect it and look at how serious it impacts our lives, and that is critical.
I just one other thing, you know, it just hit me that not hit me, but I know this, so but I'm bringing it out there. We have I mentioned Zandoli, right? So that Zandoli is Sylvester Anthony,
yes,
right? who is the brother of
Michael.
Michael Anthony.
Yes.
Now, I don't know how familiar people are about Michael Anthony, but Michael Anthony is a historian,
Yes.
and an author.
Yes.
Right. A Year in San Fernando, first book, and Green Days by the River,
Right. Yes.
and other such things. Now, Michael was almost mortally ashamed to tell people that Zando is his brother. You know? But I would think that Zando should be the one ashamed to tell people that Michael is his brother.
Correct.
Because Zando was the man bringing out asses.
In many ways, Zando could be more famous than Michael.
Of course he is.
Because the population of people in Trinidad and the Caribbean who would have listened to Man Family.
Oh God.
And and listen to the Whip and Merchant of Venice and Iron Man and so on, is certainly more than the people who would have read Green Days by the River.
But of course, that's the thing.
Oh, this woman only have Man Family. Only Man Family she have.
Yeah.
Only Man Family.
Yeah, I mean, he said
you have no aunt or nothing, only uncle and compare.
and he has to deal with it, He has to deal with it, so he comes up with a solution. I need you to write down the names.
Yeah,
on a piece of paper. Yes. So I could
present it.
I could refer.
That is a classic. How you culminate that argument? You say, present it to Zandoli.
That way, I can verify that what you're saying is true. But while we are at it, and we're talking here, about presenting and all of that. This year we having the Black Prince on Legends in concert, and he has one of his very famous songs, "The Letter." No. When you listen to The Letter, and I think, listen to The Letter, I mean, it creates enjoyment, it creates entertainment, but the actual climax, so the entertainment and the joy of the Kaiso continues to rise and climaxes at the end of the Kaiso.
Black Prince is a brilliant calypso writer. I mean, maybe underrated.
Yes.
Because of his style, but a brilliant calypso writer. I think that Panther alluded to it earlier on with the young people and so on, because the crafting of a calypso, right? And we get stuck into the competition and what the competition requires and who have won competitions, and we miss the nitty-gritties of calypso composition and crafting, thing, which has nothing to do with competition and whether it is a good competition song.
Yes.
So that those are the things we have to understand probably now going forward in calypso, that it cannot be all about winning a competition and who won the competition, but how do we keep this art form alive and meaningful and buoyant? How do we understand more and more the music of calypso? Because calypso, the music is so rich, right?
Yes.
That in trying to, let's say too much, you might kill the music in it.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So that's another thing, that there's so much to discuss, that we cannot just see calypso as criticism, cultural criticism.
No.
It is a lot more than that. And I think the person who both, I think, Maestro and Shadow, coming through the 70s with the two guys who were saying that, hey, this thing is much more than just the cultural criticism. This thing is also about music.
When I see the lift of Shadow in a box in the grandstand for a funeral, I say, oh God, I cry like a baby, because it is great, man.
No,
This
Shadow
great-
Shadow
They
was.
want nothing with this man, and this man to Trinidad, they like nothing. They lift him up in a box and carry him where they had to carry him. I said, look at the end of this man. And you know, the following week they was to give him a UV was to grant him an honorary doctorate.
Doctorate.
He didn't wait for that. He couldn't take him, Mama guy. They're a great man like Shadow. We have great artists and people in part of the world, you know. But it's like,
But
we don't
no,
know that.
but look at this. I mean, look, Val and Panther. Look at this. We mentioned Shadow, and Lord Kitchener.
Yes.
I mean, two of the greatest calypsonians that ever lived, and I doubt we may ever have, many guys, getting to that level. How many times did they win Calypso Monarch? One each.
Yeah, one.
One each.
One each. But look at the volume of work. Shadow has a calypso that I love. What is life? Life is something no one could understand. I mean, when you
the story,
the circle of life
behind it. Do you know the story behind it? Do you know the story behind that song?
I know the story, but you could tell it. Say it on air.
Right. So that they said that Duke was trying to write this big philosophical calypso. You know Duke.
Yeah,
like his
yeah,
big
yeah, of course, yeah. Well,
songs.
you know Duke, yeah.
And he's struggling, how many more must die and so on, and the mathematical formula for thing and all kind of, and the black something again, black identity and right. So he's trying to write this hefty song about philosophical song about life and struggling, cannot find it. And so happened that Shadow found out, or he told Shadow, boy, I'm trying to write this song about life and struggling. They say, well, Shadow probably walk maybe 6 feet away from Duke, turn around and come back and say, what is life? And somebody give me an explanation.
Tell me the truth.
That was it. Duke, well, of course, never wrote that song again.
Exactly.
And then Shadow did it. You know, so Shadow is telling you, as he said in Dingo Lake, you don't need a bulldozer to become a composer.
That's right.
You know.
I
love the picture.
Society we living in,
the picture Shadow painted with that song. The
Manikou. The Manikou with the worm.
No. It started with the fowl.
The fowl in the worm.
The fowl in the worm.
Yeah.
The Manikou with the fowl. The man in the Manikou. The man fall along and dead, and the same worm go back and what is that? It doesn't.
Not to mention, poverty is hell.
Well,
that's like, oh my God, that take you through the whole thing of poverty, Poverty is hell,
Yes.
Who leave the condensed milk open?
Yeah.
Come here, you pick your good for nothing.
What I love about Shadow is that he simplified everything, but the message behind that, the depth behind that simple message. I mean, you just, as people say, you can't find bottom.
No, true.
I mean,
true.
Look at Horn.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't even give the woman nothing to buy a plate of hot rice. I mean, come on.
You're going to get one.
But of course,
Yeah.
It is.
Shadow's a master. Was a master. I think that we in so many ways we weren't ready.
No, we weren't ready.
Understand that.
Nah.
And the work is there. The work is there. Starting from baseman.
Yes.
He would paint the fact that how difficult it is for the creative artists in the Caribbean.
Yes.
To come to terms with themselves. So he was planning to forget Calypso.
Yes.
And go and plant peas in Tobago. Now, I have always felt that again, very, very straight to the point, that here he was as a Tobagonian with at least access to land.
Right.
So he could leave Calypso, let's say in the morning, and go back to Tobago in Lekito and plant. Right? Plant peas and so on. he's also saying, without saying it, that there are others who do not have that choice.
Exactly.
Right? And that is why we have, I don't know whether you have any examples of that in Grenada. People like Penman and others, and Dacron and so on, who
some great ones, man.
would have gone off the edge because it is so difficult to make it in this business of creativity and calypso and so on.
Exactly.
You know? So that at least Shadow was saying that, I mean, yes, I have land, but this thing beating me and I will fight it, right?
Yes.
But he is saying that I have a recourse that I could fall back on the land and plant and so on. But there are also others, you know, commander and thing end up on the street and so on and things like that.
Yeah.
So that we have those things that calypso could be cruel. Right? Or to you in a way that you can you can turn vagrant.
Yes.
And we had those. We had examples of that in Trinidad.
Lots of examples.
Many examples.
Lots of examples. Lots of examples. You know, and you know, just moving from that, I think this is why it's so important. And we made the point about competition that calypso is so much more. And goes way beyond that. So you need the avenues for the Calypsonians to be able to expose that talent and to have a way, a form of encouragement to continue to use that creative ability to do things.
Yeah.
And so events like Legends and Concerts and other Calypso events throughout the year, not just at carnival time, can actually help. You know, because you have a platform where you can. Because I think, I believe. I mean, I'm not a Calypsonian, meaning that I don't sing calypso, but I do believe that when a Calypsonian can actually go out and perform his work, that to me means more to the Calypsonian than just getting paid. Because what you are doing as a Calypsonian, and maybe Panther could, come in here if I'm wrong, but this is how I feel about it. When you're good at something, when you have that talent that you can go out there and you can share, you can perform, and people can actually enjoy it. The enjoyment may last for maybe an hour or two, but nevertheless, you are able to use that talent that you have to touch somebody. I think that is significant for a Calypsonian. Panther,
It is, because you see, when you have a message, what good is that message if there is nobody to message? You understand? So when you're coming in tent, and you tent empty, you can't really excel, you can't really. And no, you can't blame the people too for coming, because a whole set of song on the program about competition and the singing thesis and all kind of things. No source, no entertainment, no laugh. I mean, look at this man, Cypher. That can sing with what we may call stupid song. You understand? But calypso cannot be confined to like a political argument or some big thesis thing. Calypso is calypso. If a calypso that could ignite some anchors, I mean 10, 11 anchors like I used to do and thing. When I say I can't see, I had the place hot. How you could say that song can win the Monarch? How you could say that?
It's not enough competition.
That certain songs are Monarch songs, and because they were, I seen the Breadfruit Big. Now I seen so that driving a lot of Calypsonians to come with some kind of big kind of thing that don't really entertain people.
Right.
And when you don't come, you're complaining how the tent lacking patrons. But to your point, singing a calypso is nice when you have people to sing it too. You understand? I rather sing with a big crowd for free than to sing for 6 people with money. I tell you.
No, but you're right.
They watch me, and Bradley know this is truth. Comfortable singing for nobody and getting paid. They're comfortable. And
of course. Very much singing for chairs. But I think
want to raise a pay too.
Of course, definitely. The real point here too is that I think every artist, regardless of where you're located, want to be able to present a body of work.
Yes.
You know, so that the concert format gives you a chance to present, 5, 6 songs.
Yes.
4 songs that people can hear this work. In the tent, when you have 30 performers, and you could just come up there and do one song and go away. I mean, it's not enough for people to understand your range, breadth of your work.
Exactly.
So that is something that my model had always been, that a calypso tent shouldn't probably feature more than 12 calypsonians. That each calypsonian must be able on any given year to come in a tent a season with 3 and 4 songs, because I think that is important for people to hear what the calypsonian has to say, right? But when you move away from that, of course, due to you want to stack it with plenty of people, and you have a tent having 35 singers.
That's a lot.
And presenting, 32 on each night or some kind of thing. That's just not it. So that the concert format, is really where it is.
Not to cut your Val, but some of them, they have the MC bringing them back to further linking the show. They ain't get no encore.
Yes.
Keep it going. Keep it going. Getting irritating the audience.
You're really seeing it big as a breadfruit.
Yeah.
You seen the breadfruit tree and all.
How much calypso Finance Power used to make with the album in them days? Not 12 and 14 calypso on the album.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
A tent could have 12 people. 12 quality calypso, and make a very good tent.
Yeah, of course.
Like 3 songs.
But then, one might argue, and I guess maybe it would probably come down to, if you do that, then it could probably have a positive and maybe negative effect. It could also mean that you can have a lot more tents available. Because if you limit the number of calypsonians in any particular tent, it now leaves room for other calypsonians. So you can be part of other tents, and that way you have the work to present. So that is one way. The other side of it is, if you don't have the organization of a lot of tents, then what happens to all the rest of work who are not able to be part of that tent to present their work?
Work will always find its way. I think that in the scheme of life, right, the best would rise to the top.
Always.
So that you have a tent that says, well, look, my model is to present 12 of the best calypsonians singing 3 or 4 songs. They must come in my tent with 3 or 4 songs. So that is the model. That is my model, right? And I establish a tent on that model, right? Once it forces the calypsonians to be more creative.
Yeah.
In any given
because
year,
you have to present,
right?
Yeah.
So that you have that model, and you could have other models. The fact is that if this model starts to work well, it diminishes the other tent who want to present 35 and 40.
Right.
Because when people come to the tent with 12 and they hear quality work and they leave satisfied and they take a chance to go by the other with 35 and 40, and they are embarrassed of what they hear, then it means that they would have a short life, a short lifespan.
Either that, or you step up your game.
Yeah,
you're right.
That's it. Or you find something else to do, so that everybody else would not, it's happening in every possible form, in every art form.
Yeah.
You weed out the chaff and so on, and the real fruit start to grow. Yeah.
Brother Valton, you're hitting the nail down on the head. Because I singing in Kitchener tent, man. Remember, Kitchener is my mentor, right? So I my father. So I did. But Jazzy, the manager now, will tell me, he's in Panther. In as much as you and the old man is tight, if you do have song, you can't go on that stage, you know.
Right.
I singing with Crow and Aloes on the same stage. And there's political heavyweights in the thing, and I trying to be that too. So this is how Misprint was born. It forces you have to be creative to survive.
Yes.
So you could sing in a tent regardless to what you have. Then that is the reason why the 32 singers will bore people to death.
There are no standards.
Yes. If this thing is about making money to feed the Calypsonian, then you have to earn the money too.
Yes.
You understand?
So the Calypsonian has a stake there to ensure that what is presented is of a particular standard. It's not just I'm a Kaisonian and I'm singing Kaiso and then people must come and listen to me. It doesn't work that way.
Nah.
No, the promoter, you see, Jazzy used to say, I selling a seat.
Yeah.
You know, I selling a seat. I am trying to put bums in seats, right? My cast must reflect the fact that it is entertaining and people will come again, right? He knows no other way. He is not. He doesn't have government assistance.
No.
He is not getting money from Tuco or in Grenada, Spice Mass and so on to prop him up. No. I am putting people in seats and selling a seat, and that cast up there, they are doing that for me. I have to ensure that the Calypsonians who I am recruiting are going to bring people in over this 2-month season.
Yes.
Every night and so on. He don't want to have a night where the tent is depleted because the Calypso is not good, you know? So that was the model. And we have moved away from that model to governmental support. Government paying all the salaries, government paying for the infrastructure, government paying everything. So there is no standard things, you know.
So do you guys agree that that Chucky was on the ball when he said that too much quacks and invalids?
I think Chucky was making a point, had nothing to do with quacks and invalids. I think that in a way he was making a statement of the rise of Rudder. I am almost certain that it had nothing to do with Calypsonians.
Yeah.
I would doubt that.
There we go. The twists and turns in the art form.
Yeah. Just making a statement of the rise of Rudder, you know.
Right. So I mean, listen, Lord, we talk, and look at the time. Look at the time. We ain't talk about it.
I know the time, but hear this one: Kitchener and Pretender, as you both will know, it had no partnership in Calypso tighter than that. Kitchener and Pretender, them is, ring on finger. And I used to wonder why Pretender singing in the CDC tent. Why Pretender not coming to sing with Kitchener? Jazzy say you can't have Pretender here because Pretender doesn't turn the styles. And this was Jazzy philosophy.
Of course, right.
But you have to be on the program. You have to be able to attract people. Patrons, you understand?
Yes,
you're not attracting patrons. Your song ain't good, but you're arguing that you want to raise a pay and all kinds of stupidness. We are our own enemies in this Calypso thing. I've seen the breadfruit big. I've seen the bread.
You see, no. Right, listen, Panda. I think I believe you stopped seeing the breadfruit a long time. You seen the tree. You seen the. I think you see the tree, and nobody's important because I don't think the Calypsonian should just take it at face value that I'm a Calypsonian and so people must support. I think it goes beyond that. You have an obligation to also, present work that can entertain and can definitely get people's interest. So everyone involved has to do their part. It doesn't just happen like that.
Exactly.
But anyway, guys, we getting ready. 19 years, and whenever I speak of 19 years, I do feel very proud that we've been able to promote the art form for such a long time. It's a real pleasure. We're getting ready actually for our 20th anniversary next year. That is going to be a real big thing. We haven't figured out yet, Panda, how big, but it's going to be big, I can tell you that.
Yes, of course.
It is going to be big. And so this year we have a heavy local cast, heavy local cast. We have 9 local artists, and of course yourself and Black Prince. But Val, I just maybe briefly on Panther. Let's talk a little bit about Black Prince, because maybe a lot of people, they've heard his calypsos, but not, they can't place the calypso to the calypsonian. Let's talk a little bit about Black Prince. Who is Black Prince?
Kenroy Smith, the Black Prince, born in San Fernando, now living in Mount Lambert, has been singing for many years.
Well, hold on, Val. Just take a pin quickly. You're sure that Black Prince is born in Grenada and going to like a child? Because I mean, that's dumb.
I mean, you could almost say that more than 50% of Trinidad probably has Grenadian roots.
Right.
Prince may be one. He born in San Fernando.
I like to establish that early.
Yes, that he has Grenadian roots. It's very, very possible. Yeah. Kenroy Smith. So that Prince has been singing for a long time, crafting his own style of calypso, In doing Raw Kaiso, I had done the lines for it, and I think that you could describe Prince as a kind of blues singer. If Prince was in the US of A, he would have been a Muddy Water, a Howlin' Wolf, some kind of thing like that. He's the blues man. Right?
Be a BB King.
Yes, right? So that one of the first songs I heard from Black Prince was in early, probably 1980-81. This guy had a music publishing business on Frederick Street, Cucumber Music, a guy called Ben Romani, who really who gave Leston that start, right? Yes. We were all, very young, very early 20s, just coming out of 20 and so on, and around Ben, and so that Ben would instruct Leston in terms of doing Duke Harps of Gold in 1979, right? But so around just after that period, I heard this song in Ben's business place. He had this little thing where you'll go and put in the cassette, and I'm hearing Friday evening not to come. Friday evening try and come. Saturday morning not to come. And he's talking to this girl, and it just reminds me about an incident I used to see where there was this early factory that I had some very early employment with, where women would be lined outside the gate on a Friday evening, waiting for these men, right? Because if they get paid, once they get paid and they cross the road into the Chinese rum shop, that was it, all over, So that Friday evening try and come, Saturday morning not to come, Yeah, to wait the time, the money so small. And I just remember that about Prince. Of course, he crafted it because of a different incident where some female he was with at the time came to him to tell him that she can't come.
Right.
So we are still looking for money.
Right.
She can't come. But he is that person who would take an incident in life and craft it into song and give you this story. There are calypsonians who would try to just create fictional stories.
Nah.
I think Prince is about life.
The real life, yes.
Life, and pulling from life and culling that into music and so on, so that the stories are really well crafted. He takes his time to write. You could see that, and when at the end of the day, some beautiful calypso stories. Fry Ball, Kaiso horrors, Kaiso horrors, and so on. You know,
Yes,
brilliant writer. I know that that Scholar enjoys listening to him a lot.
Oh yeah, Black Prince is actually Scholar's favorite calypsodian. He has never failed to mention that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, in fact, when we were putting the cast together, I called him and I asked him. I said, "Listen, I'm asking you a question, but I don't need all I need you to do is to answer me." Yes, or tell me. Actually, the answer, the choices were before or after. So I asked him, I said, "Come, legends, do you want to sing before or after the Kaisonian we bring in?" He watched me. I said, "Don't ask me nothing, just answer, before or after." So he said, "Before." I said, "So you want to sing before Black Prince?" And of course, well, he face light up because he said, "But you're bringing Black Prince, boy." You know, yes, and so Black Prince. You know, when you listen to his work, I mean, it's so relatable. The one Panther mentioned, "I ain't see what Kaiso do for you." He said, "Listen, when you're gonna have to use the hole in your guitar when you want wife." I mean, it's Prince is
the way you say it now, and out of the blues, I get a shock.
I mean, like, it did.
He's in a class by himself. He's in a class by himself, you know. He's in a class.
Really good guy. So he reminds us in terms of what calypso is.
Yes. Yeah.
And how its power to tell stories.
Exactly.
And I think that and Panther mentioned that, which has nothing to do with the monarch.
That's right.
It is about just crafting these stories about our life.
Yes.
And we live in the Caribbean, and there is a whole heap of stories. I remember this guy Gibraltar singing a song about the snow cone.
Yes.
You know, and it, I mean, brilliant songs about just life.
Yes.
You know, and the snow cone running down your chest. And so
And these are things you can relate to, you know. So you listen to that and you're feeling it. You're feeling it, and it brings joy.
Yeah, I mean, we appreciate the big songs, you know, the big songs, but the little moments are great too.
Exactly.
Yeah, Panther. Yeah, you were going to talk about Prince. Maybe your interaction with him and so yeah.
This is what makes Black Prince a legend, you know. As Balton said, if he was motivated by Calypso, Krong and thing, he would not have been a legend today. You understand? But because he stayed true to the art form and he sing things that you take simple things and make it something and entertain the audience. He remind me of Relata sometimes. He just take his guitar and he will communicate his Calypso with the audience. I remember singing with him in the review, him, Brown Boy, and myself. Pink Panther, Black Prince, and Brown Boy. Where we won't advertise to say, like, you know, we were no big in the tent, but we did. So, you know, when it's payday, when it's pay night, Stalin get his money in an envelope, this one get his money in an envelope, and when Jazzy had to pay me by himself, you know, put something in my hand and for that pay. So that Friday night, I remember he wasn't getting paid at all. So Black Prince, Brown Boy, and Pink Panther not getting paid at all. So Black Prince went up to Jazzy and he said, "What happened, Jazzy boy? Like, you have a problem with the colors?"
Black Prince, Pink Panther, and Brown Boy.
Needless to say, we gave it one time.
Interesting.
And Baltan will tell you, you see a real Calypsonian, just talking to them is humorous, you know.
Yeah. That creative ability. No, this is wonderful. This is great. So folks, Black Prince is going to be there, and of course, Panther is going to be there as well. And Panther, you know, I mean, you're well known in Grenada. You're a Grenadian. You always say Grenada is your
Yes,
second
I
home, and as always, we can expect something really exciting from you. So we're looking forward to that as well.
I don't say it because I'm on the air with Grenadian listening. And, I am a Grenadian. I am from Sortes.
Right.
My grandmother is from Sortes, and she migrated to Trinidad. And if she didn't come to Trinidad and do what she did, we wouldn't have no place to live. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So I always remember my grandmother from Sortes. And every time I go to Sortes, it will be like a blessing then to touch down home.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So you say you have a set of Grenadian and Trinidad. You put me on the Grenadian side, Good.
Yeah, but of course, I mean, yeah. Listen, now, there are some names. Once you listen to it, you know that name is a Grenadian name, you know.
Yeah.
Kenroy Smith. That's a Grenadian name.
Yeah.
Eric Taylor. That's a Grenadian name.
My grandmother was Nella Millet.
Well, there we go. So there are some names. Once you hear it, you know is Grenadian. You know the real Grenadian that have a name that is some Grenadian. The name that is some Grenadian at all, but the real Grenadian. Slinger Francisco. That's not a Grenadian name. But that is the real the man himself.
But you see, I mean, we have to. I don't want to get too heavy here. You know, we have. I mean, in Trinidad, we have to be grateful to Grenada for many instances. I mean, in the probably early 19th century and so on. You had when Trinidad, in terms of the oil and thing, you had the tubal urea and people like that coming over, but Trinidad development as a country really started with Cedula in 1783, you know, which is St. Laura coming over with about 15 to 17,000 people from Grenada, right? And swelling the population from about 2,000, right, to about 17 to 18,000 within a 6-year period. So that is Trinidad's development. Trinidad had no development prior to Cedula. No. And of course, I'm saying that in the latter wave of the bottle and others coming to Trinidad, that's another one. So that, you can almost say that, if you look at the roots in terms of our development, it's Grenada.
You know? No, it is, and you know, and as time go on, you know, the reverse has happened. So the Caribbean whole has depended. It's so close knitted that each one, that connection has, you know, reversed and played such a significant role. You know, because even following what you mentioned, Val, then Grenadians later on, as time went by, depended on Trinidad through the trafficking of fruits and vegetables and all of that. It was a major source of income for Grenada, you know. So it's you know, the connection is there, and it's a really, really wonderful thing. And you know, these things make excellent conversation, and especially you know, the younger folks who probably are not aware of that kind of thing. I mean, these conversations, it's excellent because it you know, it takes you back to help you to understand, you know, the whole development, that developmental process socially, politically, and other ways. It is great.
Yeah.
But guys,
even if Blakey, you know, even if Blakey had sung, you know, send them back to the land, you know.
But with Blakey and that boy, baby. That's what Blakey had done. Blakey just vexing the winner crook. That's Blakey problem. Blakey vexing the winner crook.
Don't study them with that, you know, because all that is part of people migrating and things, and people come illegally or whatever. That is part of life.
Yeah, of course.
Come sending back. Why they don't talk about that?
Yeah.
We should talk about that. Those are what Blakey say.
Don't worry about it, Blakey. I mean, but you know, it's all part of that unique Caribbean culture.
Yes, of course.
That is as scholars say in one of Kaiso, so we there. So we there, yeah. But guys, I mean, we have the next month of October to talk about legends and other Kaiso. We talk much about it, but we have a lot to talk about. I mean, when you're talking Kaiso, there is so much to talk about, you know. But nevertheless, folks, we're looking forward to that. It's a new day and a new time. Very, very important. So it's a Sunday, November 9th, 5 p.m. at the Trade Center. 19 years and counting, right? So Panther is going to be there, Black Prince is going to be there, and a heavy local cast, Rootsman Kelly, Papa Jerry, Teacher Eddie, Superstar, Cox, and the list goes on. Big J Scholar, Smallies, yes. Mm-hmm. Quite a list. So we're looking forward to that. You can get your tickets; they're already out in the outlet. You can get them early and organize. We're asking people to be seated by 4 p.m. because when 5 o'clock, we're starting. I mean, that is a given. That is a given. Mm-hmm. So we're looking forward to a wonderful show this year, and it's all part of the preparation for the 20th anniversary come 2026. So guys, boy, as always, it's such a pleasure chatting with you all. It's so wonderful having you guys here and talking the talk, chatting the Kaiso, and I'm looking forward to a lot more. Panther, again, yes. Congratulations on the milestone, and we're looking forward to. I hope you don't have no travel woes when you're coming. We're going to see to that. We're going to make sure that no travel woes. So, anything in closing? Panther, we can start with you.
I want to say that, Valton, I know Valton for a while, but he stands out as somebody that is really serious about, things that he does. He call you, he makes sure you're okay, I really, really impressed with the role he plays in the running of the Legends concert. He's something else. You have a very good friend there. Hold on to him. He's a very, very good friend. Very good friend.
We are letting go. And that's one of the things, Panther. The Legends is a family. If you go back to the very start, you'd realize it's the same people.
Yes, of course.
We don't. Yes.
Of course.
So, it's a family. It's a family. Once you're in, you can't get out.
That's the Hotel California.
California. Once you get in, you can't get out.
I hope and pray that one day soon that what you all are doing at Legends will get the recognition from certain quarters for what you do. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes we as Californians we get with little flowers and things, nice and so on. But promoters that doing these kind of stellar shows, they need to be recognized for their contribution to the art form, mm-hmm. because you are playing a very crucial part in Calypso by having an institution that is called Legends every year. That is fantastic, and I salute you.
Mm-hmm. Actually, in 2015 we got the Sunshine Award, for that, and that was quite interesting. I mean, one of the biggest surprises we got when we got the call. It was a major surprise, but it's something that we appreciate very much. But we continue to do the work, play the Kaisos, and sometimes on the radio when I play a Kaiso and somebody call me and say, "Boy, Godfrey, where you get a Kaiso? I haven't heard a Kaiso in years." That is an excellent feeling. It makes me feel really good, So we try as much as possible to preserve the work and to put it out there so we can continue to entertain and help people. So Val, your final words.
Yeah, well, one is Legends is moving out soon. This is our 19th year, and next year is 20th, so we're moving out from teenage years,
yes,
and becoming more adult. So that is significant.
Because we started to see it big as a breadfruit.
Orange.
Orange. Yeah. Orange. Not Bedford yet. Not Bedford yet.
Not Bedford yet. So that, but legend is always that space where the artists of the Caribbean can meet and have conversations.
Yes.
You know, so that is a very integral part of the legends fraternity and development and so on, that we are bringing people from, you know, Jamaica, Grenada, Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, Guyana,
Antigua,
you name them, and they would meet in Grenada around the lunch table or the breakfast table or at rehearsals and have discussions and so on, and sometimes those discussions are really brilliant.
Yes, indeed.
So that this, I take what you say, Panther, because it's not even about looking for recognition, but there is a kind of work that has to be done in the development of the Caribbean, and this is part of that.
Definitely.
You know, it's not about dependent on particular kind of institutions. It's just knowing that this is a work that has to be done, and why it is important. And I think that as producers, once we understand how important the work is, then nothing can shift that. And we would just try to keep it growing, and so that it does what it has to do in keeping this art form at the heart and center of development throughout the Caribbean. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Well, guys, thank you very much. And of course, with all of that, all our partners who continue to support and to help us to keep this thing going, you know, we salute them. We can't call everybody name, but we have the ads out there, you know, and we want them to know that we recognize them, and we're very, very happy to have them on board. Quickly, folks, just to sort of switch gears a little bit, this Friday, We Culture returns to Classic Radio and GBN TV. You've been asking for it. When it's coming back? It's back this Friday. And the big question is, who stopped We Culture? The conspiracy theory will be exposed this Friday. So somebody had to take the blame. It's not me, but somebody take the blame for stopping We Culture. Thank you, folks. We're looking forward to seeing you next Wednesday on another Kaiso Talk. Dover, good night. All the best.